Okay, you're in for a treat. My friend Hildy's here to talk to us all about marketing and where to put our money, but I want to tell you a little bit first about Hildy, who has been a longtime member of this organization. USA Today bestselling author Hildy McQueen loves unusual situations and getting into interesting adventures, which is what her characters in her books do as well. She writes romance because she's in love with love. She's the author of romance in Highland historical, Western historical, and contemporary. Basically, she writes something every reader can enjoy. Most days, she can be found in her pajamas hiding from the delivery men while drinking tea from her David Gandy coffee mug. She also stalks her gardener. So if you ever go on Facebook, you can see her kind of stalking her lawn crew. In the afternoon, she browses the internet for semi-nude men to post on Facebook. Y'all, go to her Pinterest site. Oh my gosh, I'm serious. Hildy's favorite pastimes are romance conventions, which Hildy and I did Barbara Bay a couple years ago, and it's always a fun time. She loves to travel, and she loves shopping, especially for purses. So hold tight to your purses, because she really does like to covet them. She also enjoys reading. She resides in the beautiful small town of Georgia with her superhero husband, Kurt, who's helping out today. An unruly boy chihuahua, Pepito, and a spoiled rotten girl chiweenie named Lola. So today she's going to talk about stretching our marketing reach. So please welcome Hildy McQueen.
Hi everybody, so I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I do have a couple disclaimers. Number one, I talk really fast, especially when I'm in front of people and I get nervous. So if I start getting a little too fast, do some kind of international symbol for slow down. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is, and I might not even notice, but the people around you will feel better that you're letting me know. And secondly, English is my second language. I was born in the affordable part of California, which is the one in Mexico. And so, sometimes I get my words a little bit messed up in my CHs. I don't know, even after almost 40-some years living in this country, the CH, that sound doesn't exist in Spanish. So that's why Mexicans have a hard time saying it. So, first of all, I remember when I walked in through the doors, not these doors, but I think we were in Decatur, somewhere we were meeting back then, and I went to my very first Georgia Romance Writers meeting, and I was just so overwhelmed. And so it was my first time in a room with people that did what I did. I had this amazing book that I had written with like 15 POVs and 5 love stories. I had a paranormal element and even a dog and some great guy. I don't know why nobody ever bought it, but anyway, I wrote it, I came in, and it changed my life forever. And then for the next, I think, 3 or 4 years, I drove here every single month. A 6-hour round trip, I didn't care. Because this is a place to come when especially when you want to learn. And we never stopped learning. To this day, I just went to a marketing class last week, and you never stop learning and never stop attending classes. So I want to talk to you guys about subtle marketing. And the reason I call it subtle is because it's not like in your face, buy my book kind of stuff, but it's stuff that'll help you get readership and followers and attention, get the eyes on you, because the publishing world is changing, and it's changing so fast. I went through the big wave of the ebooks, and when indies were ready, some indies were very smart, and they were ready, and they caught that wave, and boy, did they make a splash. To this day, they're the ones making the big money, because in 2011, when everybody was buying Kindles, and they were ready to self-publish and weren't scared, they grabbed all those readers and were eminently there. I was somewhere like on the beach drinking a pina colada, so I missed that one. And then we got a second one, which was when E.L. James put out 50 Shades of Grey. All of a sudden it was cool to read romance again. And whatever you might think of those books, they did put romance back on the map for non-readers, or people that had stopped reading. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's okay to do mommy porn, and I hate that word, but that's what they were calling it, and we were okay with it because we write romance. Unfortunately, now it's becoming more and more difficult to be on the readers' radars, to be noticed, to be seen. Next slide, please, Mr. Bennett.
We didn't practice this, so bear with me.
Just hit the space bar.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, so like I said, the publishing world is constantly changing. And what I call the years from 2011 on for about the 5 years after that, so about 2016 was the gold rush. And because indies were making so much money and it was becoming easier to self-publish, everybody and their dog was writing books and throwing them on there. And I don't, how many of you remember the getting paid per download in Kindle? So people were getting paid like $1 or $2 per book just for people downloading it. It didn't matter if they read it or not. So prolific writers were writing anything and putting up a book a week almost and making money off of that. Well, like any gold rush, too many people dive in, too many people start mining, and eventually the gold dries up. And that's what started happening towards the end of 2016, is that all of a sudden, things were not happening anymore. What happened to those days? We could put up a book and you make a couple hundred, $300, $500, $1,000. That was gone. So, and if you've been following social media, you notice around end of 2016, middle of 17, a lot of writers started noticing the economic crunch. By last year, a lot of people were leaving the writing field and beginning, or still writing and getting full-time jobs because they were not able to keep up with what is going on and what is relevant in the world. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay, there's one thing that will always work, and what that is marketing and being in your reader's face and getting them to interact with you. So, next slide. And you can do that by staying relevant and knowing what is constantly going on in the writing world. Study, read, and keep up. Spend a portion of your day if you can, or at least mark it in your planners to set 2 afternoons aside for a couple hours to listen to a podcast. Join Facebook groups for indie authors or authors in your genre, or let's see, 20 books to 50K is amazing. There's a bunch of different Facebook groups. I think I'm going to go into that a little bit more. And then also marketing courses are amazing. Damon Swade is going to be here in April.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I told him the other day, he's a very good friend of mine and he is amazing. He spews jewels like a unicorn farting a rainbow. I mean, everything he says, you need to write it down. And by the way, if you're attending that, and you should, there's no reason, I'm sorry, but if it costs $200, you should go. Because you're going to learn so much. That man has all this knowledge. And he is on the board at RWA. He knows a lot of the behind the scenes things, you know, if you can take him out to eat. Because he talks the whole time. Anyway, you'll be glad you did. He will definitely give you information. If you haven't done it, you should do it. Sign up for it. Let's see, what else did I have to say about staying relevant? Okay, podcasts. I listen to the Creative Pen, definitely pen with a double N. I listen to the Self-Publishing Show on podcast and Sell More Books Show. All those also have web pages. So you can feel free to take a picture of the slides. I don't know how well they'll show up because it's kind of dim. But another thing, like I said, 20 books to 50K is a good Facebook group. There's a bunch of collaborative groups based on your genres. Start one if you can't find one in your genre. Cross promotions to help each other out are a great way to do it. I belong to Launching Indie. It's run by Cecilia Mecca. It's an amazing, and Shane Silvers, I think he writes fantasy or something. And then Western Sizzle is another one with a bunch of authors. We all got together for those of us that write Westerns. There's Historical Harlots. There's a bunch of them that you can get into depending on your genre. Let's see if I need the next slide. Yes, the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook, a lot about Facebook. But first of all, if you write a certain genre, that depends on the age, different readers' ages, depends on what, did I say that right? No. Depending on your genres, what age your readership is. So I know that for mine, they're usually, I should target nursing homes because that's who reads Sweet Western mainly, but if your target audience is between, I want to move up to 35 because my daughters are in their 30s and they are not on Facebook anymore. Right. So I want to say 40 and up are on Facebook. The in-betweeners that are like, let's say 25, if your readers are between 25 and 35, then I think Twitter and Instagram, and there's another one that they use, Snapchat. Snapchat. Yeah, so, but a lot of this stuff that I'm going through, you can use it in other social media. So I'm just using Facebook because that's where my readers are, and they're just excited because they're just finding Facebook. That's how much older my readership is. So anyway, as you, if whatever social media you are on, join a collaborative, like I said, and then reader groups. So what you want to do is find reader groups, and that's easy. You type in, let's say you write fantasy romance, type in fantasy romance readers, Kindle readers. I mean, you can find all those places that you can start joining so that you can interact and start getting readers. A lot of the groups have rules, so you get on there and read the rules, and a lot of times they say you can only market on this day and that day. That's fine. That's not what you're interested in when you first get in there. What you're interested in, first of all, is find out what exactly those women's lit readers are talking about. What are they into? What are their shopping habits? You know, and you can add a lot of things that you can kind of add those subtle posts, like a graphic of a girl reading, and say, what are you reading? What are you currently reading? How do you find a new book to read? What's next on your TBR pile? Things like that, or what is something you haven't read that you like to see? Those kind of things where you ask questions and get them to interact with you. Take that knowledge so you can keep using it to get interest. So let's say you find out a whole bunch of people like to read about women who have insomnia and wake up married to Channing Tatum. So then you can say on posting day, I happen to have a book, by the way, that is about this girl that fell asleep and woke up next to Channing Tatum. And then you put a post, and if you're not allowed to promote, that's okay. You can put up a picture of Channing Tatum. Is that his name?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Chevy switched it.
Okay.
We do.
You know who he is, the dirty dancing guy. Magic Mike, yeah. So anyway, and then hopefully somebody will say, well, what is this, or blah, 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 and then the comments you can put the title. But see, that's a subtle way to kind of get your way in there so that the readers are not even realizing that you're marketing. And the administrators won't pop you for it either, because you're just telling a story, putting up a post, people are interacting, and people love that. They love me in groups. They're like, I love when you come in there, because all of a sudden the readers come to life, you know, and they start talking about stuff. Well, that's what I want to do, and it's not like you're using them, but you kind of are. But because you want them to say, oh, who is this? Let me go find her page, click on her picture, and follow him. So that's what you want to do. Another thing that I like to do is start, you definitely, if you don't have one now, start a reader group. And that way, name it something that is, mine is really creative. I'm really proud of it. It's called Hildy McQueen's Reader Group. So you can say, hey, you know, if you guys want to know what I'm up to, or if you're interested in my books, or you like ARCs, advanced reader copies, or whatever, then join my group, and you can post that on the group. Make sure that it's okay with the administrators, but post that in there at least once every couple weeks, once a month, to remind them that they can come over there. And once you get your reader group going, then those you're going to turn into your super fans. Another thing that I do, I belong to, I started my own book club, but if you don't join one or find some in your area that you can stock. Another one is I do paper planning, so I belong to a paper planning group. They have nothing to do whatsoever with my writing, but eventually through those groups I find new readers. One thing it is, if you do join any kind of collaborative or a cross promotion, don't just ask everybody to share your stuff and then you don't turn around and do it. Most of us have a profile, personal profile, and then you have a author page. So I don't share other people's books a lot of times on my personal profile, but I will share them on my author page. And I had a release earlier this week, so I asked a lot of people to promote. So on my author page, if you went to it, you'll see that I have other authors who've shared my book who have asked me to share theirs. They're all on there. Because you have to pay it back, pay it forward. You know, it's a give and take. And they will notice if that's the girl that wants you to share. She never shares nothing. Don't share her crap. So they will notice. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right. Oh, that's not it. It is. Oh, talking about sharing. Yes, I know where I'm going now. I was talking about to some friends, and they were at reader get together and they're like, but if you share, you're diluting your readership. There is no such thing. Let me give you some of the stats on this book. Well, I don't know if it's the right book, but so Harry Potter was released in 1997. It has sold over 50 million copies, and it is currently number 20 in overall Kindle. That means people are still discovering Harry Potter. So don't feel as if like, oh my God, well, if I tell everybody that there's this really amazing women's fiction writer with, romantic elements, that it's in my niche of, a girl who owns a bookstore, then everybody's going to read her book, then they're not going to read mine. Well, no. Number one, people have so much time they read faster than you can put out books. Number two, look at this book. And if you want an example of someone who has no idea if I put up the right cover or has ever even read the book or knows what it's about, don't stone me after this. Oh, see, there's another one back there. I have no idea. I've never read it. I haven't bought it. I am tempted to read it because I hear it's really good. I mean, really, there's people out there that have never read it. So, and maybe we're a little curious, and maybe there'll be an ad one day, like a movie or something, that'll make us want to read it. I don't know.
There is a
What bit about that one? Oh, okay. All right, so now we can go to the next slide. Okay, so how do you market? First of all, we're going to talk mainly about your author page and your profile page. Now, some people, there's two things of thought. What is that called? Trains of thought. Yep. Never post promotional stuff on your profile, only on your author page, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, if you only put book stuff on your author page, I will tell you that I was doing something for a friend, and I wanted to promote a book for her. I went to her profile page, and I couldn't find that one thing about her writing. It's okay if you don't want to promote on your personal page, but know that people will go there to look for your stuff. And it is against, technically, Facebook's TOS to promote on there, but usually they don't. I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years. Don't do it, you can say I did it, but at least put something like I had a book release, at least once in a while, so people can find it there. One thing I do want to say, when posting, be careful. You don't want to be a ray of sunshine every single day. I know that things happen, but be very careful that when people come to your pages, unfortunately, you're a writer now, you're a public figure. And people will get into your business and hold you accountable for everything you say. Saying bless you is fine, but saying anything about religion is, for some reason, turns off people. It's okay to be Democrat or Republican, but just know that if you post a Democratic post, then you'll lose half of your readers. Either way, you're not right either way. So just leave it alone. It's not worth it. People, oh wait. Even one time I posted about Hurricane Maria when it was coming up and was going to head to Georgia. You guys remember that? I posted, because Kurt and I, we always call each other different names, and I said, he said one day, pack your bags, Murdo, we're going north, or something like that. So I posted that. Well, people got mad and offended. I'm like, I'm on the path of the hurricane. It's okay. They're like, how dare you make light of something? People are losing their lives. Oh. So you never know. If you have to think about it twice, and even sometimes you're thinking, really? And it was on my personal profile. It wasn't like I was putting it on my author page. It doesn't matter. I got tons of comments. And I put a picture up of this kid standing on a chair, and his parents were looking at their phone and iPad. And the floor was concrete, and I said something about I'm very, very distracted from eating my dinner. I'm so scared this kid's gonna fall down and crack his head open. He told me, 15 minutes later, take it down. Moms were like, you don't know what those parents are going through. How dare you post a picture of a child? And the kid was not even facing the camera. I was careful about that. How dare you criticize people? And the mother is probably, at least they're out with the family. I mean, tons. People unfriended me over that post. So now I'm like, okay, I'll stick to posting about my landscaper. Okay, so one thing that you can do, and I will talk a little bit more about this, is to set a weekly schedule. Focus on something that you're familiar with, whether and that people can get interest interested in with you. You attract more people. If you're really into gardening, you know, your gardening process. People love when you do a process. Your process of getting more fit. Your process of teaching your little cat how to use the litter box. If any kind of process, they'll come along with you. They love that kind of stuff. Start a theme day, and I will talk a little bit more about those in a minute. When you're posting, don't forget to do weekly calls to join your newsletter. If you don't have one, start one, please. And invite readers to your readers group. So do that at least, you know, if you don't do it, maybe on Thursdays, it'll be Reminder Thursday. That doesn't rhyme, but that's okay. And say, you know, don't forget if you, I'm about to put up a new book and people will be chosen to get a free copy to review or stuff like that, and get people to come over and start joining your readers group, because they're always going to be there for you. Okay, let's see. Another thing that people like is food. If you're, you know, grow your own food or make certain things, you put up recipes and stuff, they love it. Tea, gardening, cats, dogs, they love they love pets. Something that is in theme with your books. So I do a lot of research on mail order brides, and people really follow and like. I got tons of responses when I found the story of a mail order bride that her stagecoach got held up, and she ends up marrying the guy, one of the robbers, and didn't even realize it. And so when she saw him sign the marriage license, she noticed a big scar on his hand that she had noticed during the robbery. So in the true story, she leaves, and nobody knows whatever happened to her. So that leaves it open for a good book. So I put that on there, and man, I got tons of responses. Readers that actually read books that were based on that story. So things like that, any research that you're doing, they love that kind of stuff. Okay, and if they respond to you, respond back, because that gets you more visibility. Any likes and comments gets you seen, but when you respond back, that gets you seen again. On Hunk Day, I get a lot of momentum going. On Wednesdays, I have Hunk Day / Hildy's, #Hildy's Hunks. And I post a hunk in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I post a book. Something to do with the book, always put a buy link. So if you do a post that says, oh, one of them that got hundreds of responses is, what do you order with your dinner to drink? I think I got like a couple hundred responses. Put that up, follow the momentum by posting a book. And you'll notice you'll get like 100 responses of what do you drink for dinner, but on my book I'll get like 5. But that's okay, because that means that more people are seeing it. Because you got the momentum going of all those eyes on your page. If you go to your feed and you see an author always coming up, go look and see what they're doing, because there's a reason that all authors always coming up. It's like, you know, I haven't responded to any of their stuff in a long time. I don't even go to their page. Why are they always showing up? That's the reason, is that they're doing that kind of stuff to get momentum. Pretend they're your friends. So every once in a while, you know, go see whose birthday it is and say happy birthday, or go see if the people put up that they got a new puppy, get all excited with them. Well, I get excited about puppies, so. All right. If you have an upcoming release, put up a cover reveal, teaser, all that stuff. Never forget the buy links. And if you don't have a book coming out, that's okay. Feature a book. That's a good one. Friday feature. Feature a book in your backlist. All right. So, okay, next one. I don't know where I'm at. Oh, I just talked about that. Pictures and highlighted posts get more attention. You guys know when you go, yes.
Do you mind when we ask questions? No. Okay. If you write cross genres, because I write romantic, suspense, and paranormal, should you create a readers group for each?
Yes, okay. Definitely, because one probably doesn't read the other. Okay. Yes, definitely start 2 readers group. I'm about to start a second one because I'm going into a new genre. Okay. And so, yes, 2 separate readers groups, because putting up vampires or turn off the romantic suspense readers. You know, when you go to put up a post and you get that bright, colorful background, use those to ask a question, like the dinner water question, or, you know, how often do you walk your dogs or something, because that gets more attention. As people are scrolling, they'll stop when there's a big one. I always do. And then remember to reply to any responses. People love, when it's words only, they really like life update. And if you're doing a life update, type that in capital letters, life update, : and then your life update. And it can be life update, my gardenias finally bloomed. And people will be like, oh, that's not a life update, anyway, but they'll get to see you. So it'll get the reader's notice. And then also always give links when referring to your books. Never do a cover reveal without a link, please. Don't do anything about your book without a link. Yes.
Question, should you put the links in with the post, or do you say they're in the first comment? Because I've heard two different.
Right. You can do both.
Okay.
If you put it up with the comment, like if you're doing a link with the comment, then if you're doing a graphic, put the graphic up first and then put in your information. And then sometimes go ahead and put it in the comment. That way it shows the Amazon, because people don't know that it'll show the preview of the first link you have. So if you're doing Kobo, iBooks, whatever link is on top, it'll show that preview. I like to do a big cover only, or a graphic, because that gets more attention. But lots of times they'll see that, they'll see your blurb, and then they won't see your link, unless they click more. So that's why it's good to put it in the comment, the first comment. But also, once people start commenting, that one will hide. So it's like you can't win. So why not put it in both?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't take but a second to do both. Okay. Sorry. Okay, where am I?
You are in
Okay,
the
next one. Sorry. Okay, theme. My things in here are messed up. Okay. Pick at least a couple days a week and do some kind of theme. And the reason that you do themes is because, like anything else, if you binge watch TV shows or you get songs that you like, it's because something is repetitive about it. And I do Motivation Monday, and I get a lot of responses on that. I do Wednesdays, I do Hunk Day. There's also Mondays you can do Coffee Monday if you're a big coffee drinker. Tell them what kind of coffee you like, or put up a coffee graphic and maybe your cup of coffee and one of your books next to it, something like that, and talk about that. Ask them what they drank that morning. You know, after a while, people start, if they find a graphic that has coffee or something funny about coffee, you'll start seeing that they'll start posting it on your page. Cappies? Tanya's really good at that. She is big into coffee, and she started her Coffee Monday. I think she does coffee every morning, actually.
She does.
Coffee every single morning. And you'll see a lot of readers post pictures of coffee on her page. So it's silly maybe, but she's gotten a lot of eyes on her Facebook page. So when she posts about a book and something, a lot of people are seeing it. So if you're doing tea, maybe Tea Tuesday. I'm a big tea drinker. I should do that.
There you go.
Or Teaser Tuesday, Show and Tell Tuesday, Tawdry Tuesday if you do a little spicier stuff. Wednesdays are good for any kind of hump day theme. Get over the hump with this hunk, or, well, that doesn't sound good, but anyway. Midway Wednesday, so you can show the middle of your book, midway through a book, and say in the middle of the story, this is what happens, or I'm in the middle of the story, I'm writing this kind of scene, so hashtag Midway Wednesday. Wicked Wednesday, if you write paranormal or fantasy, do something, show something wicked that one of your anti-heroes or your villains have done, or maybe even the hero or heroine. Thirsty Thursday. That's a good one. You can show how a heroine pursues your hero, or vice versa. And then Thankful Thursday, of course, it's great for the inspirational crowd, or everybody. Thankful Thursday is always good. You can be thankful. Like I said, Friday is good. Finally, Friday is getting them ready for the weekend, what they could be reading this weekend. It's a good time to say, how about a weekend date with this guy and talk about your hero. Freaky Friday is another one that's good for paranormal or fantasies. TGIF, thank goodness, is finished. Talk about a book that you just finished writing. Saturday and Sunday are generally good if you post in the morning or at night. But if you have my crowd, you can post all day because they're not doing nothing. Weekend reads is good. Escape with Tracy. Perhaps a graphic with your book and send a bubble bath or something like that, and they get to escape with you. Sleep in the morning with so-and-so, yes?
The graphics, where do you get those and not get in trouble for using them?
If I use graphics that include stuff like a bubble bath and stuff, I'll get those generic ones from Google. because usually a bubble bath or, you know, car tires, that kind of stuff will get you in trouble. It's when you use specific artist art that you will want to be careful. You can go to Deposit Photos and they always have sales. You can get like 100 graphics for, you know, $50. You can do that. If you do use something, you know, you can tag them. I use Michael Stokes. He has very racy men, and I always tag him. If you're sharing them and giving them credit, it depends on who they are, if you've met them. But if it's somebody's obvious artwork that has the the artist name, then you probably don't want to use that.
Thanks.
But from Google, you can get stuff like that, you know, bubble baths or trees or whatever you use in your graphics. Another weekend one that's good is Take a Hero to Bed Tonight and Date with a Vampire, a Duke, a Prince, a Detective, a Fairy, whatever you write. It's good for weekends. Has anybody used any of these theme days?
I do Wines Day, Wednesday.
Oh, that's a good one.
I do Military Monday.
Oh, good. That's a good one.
I do Too Cute Tuesday, and I always dress like a dog or.
Oh, that's a good one. Too Cute Tuesday with a puppy or a cute cat. Even hedgehogs are cute. All right, so let's go to the next one. So you're gonna thinking about, well, what do I post? And it's kind of overwhelming. The next slide. Just remember that on your post, they are your readers and they follow you for a reason. They want to know about your books. And when I was talking about cross-promoting, it's okay to do that, but don't do it all the time. Because they're like, well, whose page is this anyway? So make sure that if you, on your author profile page, you always talk about something and relate to your writing and your reading. Your writing and your books. And what you're reading is fine too, but on your personal profile, then that's the place that's okay to do a lot of other different things. I do my theme days on my personal profile, and on my author page is where I talk about, finally finished with this book, this is a scene from my book, this is research that I'm doing, this is a trip where I'm going, along with pictures that I take. Take your phones, they take really great pictures now. Go take pictures of trees and the sky and grass, whatever. You can use those for backgrounds in your picture so that you don't feel like, oh, what if I get in trouble for this? That'll leave all the guesswork, because generic backgrounds are always good. Insider information on heroes and heroines, they love that kind of stuff. And but don't forget to share about you. Readers want to feel like they are your friends. They want to know a little bit more about you than they think other people do. But don't say, come have a party at 3868 Live Oak Lane. But say, I wish you guys could be here. I'm having a party tonight. It's a birthday of a friend, and I give him a picture of a birthday cake or what I'm doing, the setting stuff, whatever he's cooking. Stuff like that. They want to feel like they're your friends, your pets, your your gardener, your new car. They want to know a little bit about what's going on with you without getting too much into your invasion of your own privacy. Yes.
I read, I can't remember which month it was, some RWR article about trying to approach it through like chalices. Like you only pick 4 or 5 core things to always post on.
Right.
Do you follow that?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of different subgenres?
No, you mean for each genre?
Yeah, do you have separate ones for each genre, or do you do like 4 or 5 just for your
I kind of seem to concentrate on whatever. Like right now, I have a pirate book coming out, and I just had 2 mail order brides. I tend to kind of stick to the Western post because that's my main genre. But I was just thinking the other day, I got this poor pirate coming out, and I need to post something about pirates. So yeah, sometimes depending if you have 1 or more genres, you want to do a little bit of each one, like maybe a hobby or a post that relate to whatever genre you're at. But when you're on your personal profile, you can share other things that perhaps are not exactly book related. Okay, next one. I'm going to show you a couple of posts that I did. Oh, that's what I was feeling. I share a lot about Lola gets more likes than I do. Because she's cute. She's a Chiweenie that's super, super spoiled. And whenever I share anything to do with her, you get a lot of visibility. So if you have a dog or a cat or a parakeet, even a fish, Diana Love has a fish. And people love that stuff because they get to know you through your pets, And yeah, so Next one. Okay, this post got a lot of interaction, and I said I found Hildy in the 1700s. And this would be me if I got told to clean up after a party. I'd be drinking all the leftover champagne. I don't drink that much, but Hildy McQueen drinks a lot. She's really people always ask me for drink recommendations and stuff. It's so funny. Probably because I used to always say during pizza party that I was drunk. So that way, if I made a typo or whatever, they would forgive it. So anyway, I said, while doing research for the appeal of an elusive Viscount, I found a 1700s Hildy. This would definitely be me if they made me clean up after any kind of party. And then I put, read my Georgian romantic comedy, The Appeal of an Elusive Viscount. You'll love it. And then I put the link on where to get it. And I think I got like 130 likes and a bunch of comments and shares. The next one is another one that's put up somebody that's your muse for your hero. And this one I said meets Trevor Collins, I think is his name, and he is the doctor in my book Ruby, and he's 6 foot tall, blah, blah, blah. I described him, and then I said read about him or join him today, get to know him today. I put the link for that book. And then you can ask questions like about your character. Say, what do you think about him? Or would you go out with him? Or what if you got there and your mail order husband looked like him? You know, whatever.
So, and this stuff is on the author page or the personal page?
This was on my personal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can, like I said, if you feel uncomfortable putting it on your personal, you can put it on your author page. And I didn't get permission to use him, so if he comes after me, oh darn. Okay, next one, babe. Okay. You guys remember when Facebook first started, how they used to say keep your posting to 60-20 or 80-20 or 60-40? I forgot what they said. Don't say buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Well, nowadays, only about, and this is sad, 5% of your followers and friends see your posts. I don't know if you guys notice, but you see the same people all the time. It sucks. So, if you post once a day, you'll be lucky if 5% of your followers and friends see it. So I don't really follow those rules anymore because of that. Like I said, I do a momentum post to get interaction, and then a few hours later put up my book in hopes that more people will see it. And it's become that kind of a game now. It's not like it used to be that you can post things up there, and even with momentum and even with people liking it and you commenting back, still only a small percentage of your people are seeing it because it has become a play-to-pay environment. And they want you to boost your post, they want you to spend money for people to see it, which is, for people for civilians that are not writers, it sucks for them too, because they're like, I don't see in so-and-so's post. You see a lot of times that I say, hey, did you see that so-and-so had a baby? No, when was that? And they're friends with them, how come I didn't see it? Because of the Facebook machine is doing whatever it wants. So, like I said, you don't have to put up an overt Amazon link with your blurb all the time. Just put up a tagline and then something, a graphic that'll catch their attention right after you put up some kind of something that gets momentum going. Okay, go ahead, babe. Like I said, never post a link. Post without a link. Put your book up for pre-order even if it's a silent. You don't want people to buy it yet, but who doesn't? But at least you have that link. So when you put up, people love to respond when you say, this is my brand new book cover, what do you think? Don't put up a blurb, nothing. People love to criticize. And so, you have the link there. It'll be in the comments and in your post so that they can order it if they're so inclined. Or at least that's the first time they see it. When you put up any kind of teasers, coming soon is another one, pictures of the hero or the heroine, make sure there's a link, and anything that has to do with your book. The only exception is in your groups. When you are in the group, then you know that you follow the rules, because they don't always allow promotions except for specific days, and you don't want to break the rules unless a reader asks, well, how can I buy this book then? Oh my God, you got to answer them. Okay, next one. Do I pay? Yeah, I got that backwards. It's up to you. I'm not going to go into advertising and the cost of advertising, but it can get pretty pricey. It's getting to the point now that everybody's doing that now because, like I said, visibility's gone down. Plus, it's harder and harder to make the same amount of money that people are used to make. And it's so expensive. You have to, people are sinking hundreds of dollars a day into ads. Yes?
One of the things I found, this was particular to Facebook, is they would tell me your ad will reach between this many people and this many people in a day. And then when it comes back, your ad maybe reaches less than half of the minimum.
Yes, I know.
And I've asked them about that. I said, well, there are various factors. It's a total BS answer. But they've never really...
Well, they say it
Am
depends.
I the only one seeing that, or does somebody see that?
No. They say it depends on your graphic, it depends on your headline, it depends on your demographics. I'm thinking, well, they give you that number after you put all that in.
Yeah.
And so how can they say, well, you know, the reaction, it depends on what you put in.
Yeah, they can't meet the minimum unless if you did it wrong, then you're not going to meet the minimum.
Right,
That's their-
but they give you the number after you put in all this.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually I found out because I accidentally typed $50 a day instead of $5. Yeah, that was fun. And this guy calls me and he's like, "I'm your rep." I was like, "I got a rep score on $5, amazing. I must have really good interaction." And then I looked at the number and thought, I was no wonder. And then when we had this conversation, I was so excited about it because he's like, "Let's talk about ads and blah, blah, blah." He told me how to set up an ad. Let me follow you step by step. You put a graphic, you put up a link. I'm like, but what gets the more attention? Well, it depends on your, well, what about this? Yeah, that sounds good. So it wasn't any help. Anyway, I went back to $5 a day. He never called me again. So boosting is very iffy. There's courses on it. They're very expensive. Like I said, practice your graphics. I put up the same book and do two graphics, two separate graphics, and now they have this one set up that you can put up to 5 or 6 graphics and it'll rotate them and try to get you the best result. I don't know. I tried it. I'm still waiting to see the results. But BookBub is another one that's easy to do. If you have BookBub, get BookBub followers. That's another thing you want to post and get people to follow you on BookBub. And one thing that does work. Get on BookBub and recommend a book at least once a week. Because that gets you visibility and people will say, you know, Hildy McQueen is recommending these 3 books, and it gets you followers and also gets people to come look at your books. So that's another thing to do. You can do ads, you know, besides the one that costs like $500 or $600. You can do the ad that shows up on the bottom of the daily emails. You can make it through them and just put up a short tagline. I always recommend if you do those, and also on that one you also bid, just like Facebook. If you do, make sure you put on a button or something big that says 99 cents or free, because it's not like the other books that are featured in their email. These ones are don't show all the blurb and everything, but if you put a button that shows your price and everything, that you will see, the readers will see, oh, I want to get that book because it's free. Because BookBub emails are all about free and 99 cents, and that's what they're looking for. So a free one works better than a 99 cents one. Yes?
What is that word at the bottom? Kindle something?
Oh, yes. I was going to talk about that next. So
sorry.
That's okay. Free ads are easy and there's no excuse not to do them. If you go to awesomegang.com, Awesome Gang, AWESOM gang, G-A-N-G. Did I spell it right?
No, it's good. It's AWESOME.
Yeah, S-O-M-E. Awesomegang.com. They have a list of all the free ads, and kindlepreneur.com lists, well, if you just go to kindlepreneur.com, you can go to, he has a link, it's just free ads. They'll give you a link of a list of about like 30 sites, and what I do is I put my blurb, my ASIN, my link, my book links, all in one page on a Word document, and I copy and paste. And there's no reason why you shouldn't do this. Get your teenager to do it if you have one, if not borrow one. Because they're free. And if you don't always have them, got them going, and they don't even ask you, one thing is they won't ask you what dates you want, very rare, but they will, So you just put them up there, they'll put it up in their next available open spot. And there's different sites for different genres, and so, yeah, that always works. But that's always good to do. And there's some that work more than others, but you know what? Who cares? It's free. And if you get somebody like a teenager that'll do it for a pizza, and then, or just for the privilege of still living in your house, you might as well use them, right? So yeah, use those free ads. Like I said, Awesome Gang. And then if you go to Awesome Gang, he will give you the link to Kindlepreneur and other sites where they also have lists. And some of them are very specific to a certain genre. And so that's a good thing to know. Okay, let me talk about other forms of subtle. Does anybody have any more questions on Facebook and social media before I go to the next area? Okay, that's next one. Never attend an event, any kind of event, without promoting yourself and doing some kind of marketing. Because you have to find a way to create a buzz and create giveaways to let people know that you are there. Now, I am going to Book Lovers Convention in New Orleans in May. I'm bringing along a writer friend who's not a featured author. And she's like, oh, I'm so excited to go. I said, so let's do something to let people know you're there. And she's like what? Am I allowed to? Hell yeah, you're a writer. You're paid like $400 to go. Don't just go to something and not do something. That's ridiculous. So we're doing those ribbons that they attach to their badge, and we'll have the readers find us at specific spots. One of them is, was that me?
No.
Oh, anyway, that's me. I could have ADD. I'm like, and so we're going to do those ribbons that you stick on your badges and have readers find us with specific things. So you can do buttons. They're really inexpensive at purebuttons.com. They're like maybe $1 or less per button. Order a bunch of those and people can find you and you give them a button. So we're doing that, and then we're doing another thing where we're going to be at a bar and have a bag of books, and it doesn't have to be your books. You don't care. People are coming to see you, so you give them a book and you give them something like what I put on your table. That's really inexpensive to make, because you want to meet the readers. And guess what you do every time you meet a reader? The cover models at RT call me selfie. Hey, let's take a selfie, because I used to do that with cover models because they get attention. And so when you meet a reader, can we take a selfie? Sure. Let's do it with your phone. Do you mind tagging me on Facebook? That's a good one. Don't do it with your phone because you don't remember all their names. Can we do it with your phone? Do you mind tagging me on Facebook? No, they're more than happy to do that. So now you're getting on the Facebook pages of all these readers' pages maybe in there. So use it to get to know readers. And a lot of people, especially writers, are introverts. I'm a big introvert, right, Kurt?
Yeah.
Shy.
Yeah, whatever.
Take an extroverted friend with you that likes to get attention and doesn't mind talking to people. Talk to a chair for 20 minutes before they realize the person left because you didn't talk to them. That's me. So do that. Take somebody with you that is an extrovert that work tag team. If you're two introverts, usually when there's 2 or 3 of you together, you're a little bit more prone to do stuff like, and meet me at, get a t-shirt that says, come get my button, or something. And then when people come up, it just makes it easier. If you're sitting at a bar or you're sitting in the lobby and, follow the pink balloon or something, do something to give readers attention to come to you, and don't forget to get some kind of selfie and get them to tag you on social media. Social media tags are always easier too, because what you can do is do a giveaway. Creative giveaways are that. Say, cover cards, you're giving away a cover card. So they take a picture with your cover card. If they don't want their face in it, that's fine. But make sure they tag you when they put it up, and I'm gonna go through whoever tagged me when I get back, and 2 or 3 people will get free books or Amazon gift cards or whatever. So do that. If you are attending, then make your own event, do a basket raffle, volunteer to speak or be in a panel or help out, anything to be in front of readers. And another thing about buttons and things like that, if you're signing there, say you're going to have a special something at your signing table. And so people will come see you just for that thing, and they'll be more inclined to purchase a book or give them a cover card that has a QR code and they can order the book. So that's another thing. If you can't attend, then contact people. Look in the RWR, and all those have all those lists of upcoming conventions. Look for stuff that's in your genre. Contact the organizers and ask them if you can send swag. And that's why I put that swag on the table, because that costs not hardly anything. The cover card, that one has all my books listed on the back of it. It has a little cowtail. And if you package it, they won't throw it away. If you just send a cover card by itself, they're getting a bunch of those, they may put it aside and never look at it. Nobody ever picks up a pen and go, oh my God, I have to buy a book written by this person. No, they don't do that. But when you put it together in a little pack and then you have something quirky that has to do with Western, I gotta figure cowtails and cows and, you send those to organizers. They're more than happy because that's more stuff they get to put in the swag bags. And the readers will keep it and take it home because it's packaged. So don't do really expensive swag because, like I said, those clips for paper, for chips, those clips, I love those things, but I've never said, oh my God, what did she write? I gotta go get that book. You know, you're just wasting your money. Yeah, it's cool stuff and they'll keep it.
What do you think is the most effective swag?
For me, what has really worked, and I did it for many years, are those glass cleaner cloths, because you can put your logo, you can put books on it, and people keep those in their purse. And one that's really inexpensive, and I have one that I've had for like 3 years in my purse, nail files, you know, because they have your name and stuff on there. Yeah, I have those and keep those for a long time. Anything that has your book or book cover, and that's why buttons are kind of cool, because if you go to Pure Buttons, they make buttons, but they also make mirrors that'll have your stuff, and then people like to keep those in their purse because they can use it to check.
What's that website called?
Pure Buttons, Pure buttons.com. They make, you can upload your cover or upload your logo, and then on the back it'll be a mirror. So those kinds have been effective. People love, love, love pens, but always include something with the pen. Because readers do keep pens, and every time I ask, well, what's your favorite swag? Pens. I'm like, yeah, but I know you never looked at my pen and said, I gotta go see what her latest release is, you know. So, anybody have any swag that has really helped? I know that some readers said they like excerpts, but they're so expensive to produce.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some, like Got Print might do them for not that much. Got Print is where I get my cover cards made. And they're very inexpensive. I got like 1,000 of them for like $40.
What's it called?
Got Print.
Got
Yeah, GOTprint.com. And you can get pamphlets, postcards, that kind of stuff made there. So you can get those trifold ones that has you have your cover and your blurb, and then the inside will be maybe chapter 1, and then on the back it'll have all your social media contacts. A lot of readers said they like to read them because they take them to work with them and start reading it, and then they'll order the book because it's a good intro into who you are. So that's another thing that you can try.
I do recipe cards
Oh, that's a good idea, recipe cards.
with the cover on the front, a recipe that's kind of germane to the book.
I did that with one series, come to think of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Each heroine had a recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do like that and they keep it. See, but if you're gonna do that, then include like a little something to,
Well,
She does
I do it's a measuring spoon for recipe.
yeah, see, that's a good idea. Something that's related to it. One of my, I think it was Appeal of an Elusive Viscount, is the one and only Georgian I ever wrote. I included tea, English tea. So it has something that I thought, well, this is what they used to drink, but they didn't. But anyway, it kind of sounds good. Okay. Like I said, so, all right, that's the next one. I think that's the last one. I started my own book club. It's going to be 15. When it turned 10, we had a big author. We had 20 authors and did a big to-do. It was a lot of fun, so I'm hoping to do one. We won't do it on our 15th, but maybe next year. I'll let you guys know. We had like 135 readers show up because nobody goes to Augusta, you know, so they were excited. If you don't have one and you don't feel like starting one, then find some in your area and volunteer to come. What I did with one, I found a book club. Went to the Y for about 2 weeks, and met this, and met this lady who had a book club, and I said, well, if you guys want to read my book, I'll send you ebook, a free ebook. So they all read the first book in series, and then I met with them and we chit-chatted about my book, and a lot of them read the rest of the whole series. So volunteer to come talk. You don't always have to give your book away, but you can always bring swag or offer to send swag, even if they're not in your area. Say, hey, you have a book club, can I send you stuff about my books? Set up a book signing. I used to hang out we used to hang out at this place called the Bean Basket. It had great whiskey. I don't drink though. But anyway, we got to know the owners really well, so I had a couple release parties there. One time the place was jam-packed and the guy was excited because, you're bringing business to them. So that's a good, I've done it at coffee shops, at a wine store. I don't know why I ended up in alcoholic places. But set one up. Get a couple friends that live in your area and do a book signing. Get people in there. Everybody gets up and reads a short excerpts and talk about your writing, and then sign books afterwards. You can volunteer at the library to do a class or a reading. Talk about yourself. People like that. Local author will be here on whatever day, and get people that way. Hobbies and clubs. I had it with me, but that's over there. I don't feel like going over. Like I said, I belong to a club that does paper planning, and so we're having an event here in Atlanta that had 300 people attending, and I'm thinking, how can I market to a bunch of people that plan? Obviously, they like paper stuff. So we all have these cool planners that we decorate and put twinkles on and stuff. And so I made a cover card just like the one you got, but instead of having my picture, it had a cartoon of a planner and a caricature of my face, and it said, I'm just a girl looking at my planner asking it to love me. And then on the back I had all my books. I added a cute paper clip and a pen. And because planners are very snooty about pens, I ordered Japanese gel pens on Wish.com or whatever one else, AliExpress, they can get it really expensive. And they loved it. And the organizer was so excited. They're like, oh my God, it's so cool that somebody else is sending swag for the bags that's not planner related, but in a way it is. So we have a published author who does planning. So the following year they asked me to be a speaker. So you never know. If you belong to a hobby or a club, use it to your advantage. Friends and family, those people that never buy your books or read them?
Or want them for free.
Yeah, or want them for free. Use them because they don't care about you. They don't give a shit about your writing. But they love to brag. And guess what they love to say? Guess what? My cousin, my aunt, my sister is a published author. And they tell them, hey, carry this around and give it to people that you meet that are, like to read. And they will do it because they're bragging about themselves, not really you. The fact that they like you. So use them for that. So don't force them to buy your books if they dilute your also bots, because probably the only other thing they ever bought was how to, lubricate your motorcycle. So, I don't know, those people might read romance too. Make your little dogs and kitties pay for their kibbles. Use them, because put them little suckers to work. You have a new release, drop a book next to a dog, tell it to sit, take a picture, because it'll get attention. So that's another thing that you can do. What else do I have on here? Okay, last slide. Remember that most CEOs in America and all over the world work more hours than most of their staff. Unfortunately, we are our staff. So you are the CEO of your own empire. You are the creator, the vice president of marketing and advertising. You are the vice president of sales, formatting and distribution, and unless you have a publisher, you still have to worry about doing your own graphics or asking somebody else to do it. And then you have in charge of accounting and taxes and benefits and all that stuff. Yes?
When do you have time to write?
Exactly. So because of that, it's like I said, it's overwhelming, the stuff we have to do. And what I try to do is the first 3 hours of every day I do my writing. I set the timer. I'm one of those people that have to be timed and hurry or sprint with people. You can just sprint teams. Set a block of time specifically for writing, because you will get lost in this part. We can spend 10 hours a day easy on everything else and not have time. We're creative people. We don't do all that other stuff. Unfortunately, you still have to do it. Even traditionally published, and your publishers are doing what they can for you, you still have to do your part because of the fact of the visibility going down. But split that up, and that's why I recommend a paper planner. I will be doing some planning classes, but you want to split it up so that you give a specific amount of time. And what I do is I give myself a 1 or 2 hour block, usually an hour block, and divide it. So on Mondays I might do a lot of graphics and advertising. Tuesdays I will concentrate on getting reviewing whatever I owe people, make sure that my deadlines are met. You know, you guys know what that is. I don't have to tell you, but think about it this way. One thing somebody said to me that really stood out to me is like, regardless of all that, if you were your publisher, would you want to work for you? What are you doing for you? And yeah, it's hard, and you know, we can say we don't have time for all that, but if you're not making, or you're not at where you want to be, there's only one person that we can hold accountable in the end, and that's ourselves. We got into this, we love it, and we have to do what we can, learn what we can, stay relevant, do the marketing, even if it's subtle. Even a little bit more than you're doing right now will guarantee you more sales, more visibility, and the ability to one day be that writer we thought we were going to be, you know, sitting on a beach house looking out at the ocean, writing books and sending it off to the fairies who would do everything else. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helly.
Welcome.